tax the rich, feed the poor, till there are no rich no more. I'd love to change the world, but I don't know what to do. So I'll leave it up to you.
We're on speakerphone a lot with them, talking business. Is that what?
Never talk business anyway. I knew you'd have a lousy question.
Well, what do you? Why is that a lousy question?
Because it's not true.
It's not true. What?
With respect to climate change.
We've already done that. We
What?
fixed the $368 billion climate control facility. We're moving.
What?
It is the existential threat to humanity.
So you've already declared that national emergency.
Well, in the practice, you have a bug on it.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it. So you've already declared that national emergency.
Practically speaking, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know?
Turbines made by GE Verona.
What?
I mispronounced it. Imagine if a long time Roosevelt and telephones came along saying, we're not going to help invest in telephones.
What?
Come on, man.
We didn't invest in telephones. Private industry did.
Full of energy and vigor, isn't he?
Late return show Democrats alienated by Truman's policies returning to the fold in surprising numbers.
Four-way race.
The president is a million votes ahead in the popular vote. Could it be the tide is turning? Unbelievable.
Mechanical tabulators and a hand
First time
count.
Since 1916, the United States faces a country so evenly divided in a national election that no one knows, hours and hours after the polls have closed, who is to be the next president of the United States.
With a hand count.
Harry Truman has accomplished one of the political miracles of our times. In the face of national polls,
Now, with machines, computers, it takes days and days.
At the car, Frank.
Get the cleanest elections ever.
See the voting paper, Mr. President?
Whoa, 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 whoa! Whoa, put on the brakes. Welcome, welcome, boys and girls, children of all ages, hoofties, poofties, bung-eyed effers, right and left wing wackos, woodchucks, and chuckettes, kings and queens of the Northeast Kingdom, to another version of It's News to Us. And who are we? Where are we? You are watching. Let's see. We are, yeah, your camera. Yep. There we are. You are watching.
I thought I changed that.
Yeah. It's News to Us. We're Newport's oldest TV news, or just Neo, here at NEK-TV, Northeast Kingdom. We're in the booth. We have Philo T. Farnsworth, College of Musical Knowledge, drummer extraordinaire. You can see his videos at YouTube. Terry DeFazio's drumming videos. And
Which are endorsed by Comrade Steve Merrill.
Yes, we highly recommend them. And let's see, defund the police? I don't think so. It's getting worse and worse and worse. And the cities are turning into third world hellholes.
You remember the movie Mad Max?
Yeah, that's about
The
it.
first one, not the second one, but the first one?
Yeah.
Jeez. It's almost like we're living that all over.
Yeah. Or the Charles Bronson movie there. God, what was the name of that one? Oh, I can't remember. Where his wife was killed.
I don't remember that one. Anyways, please continue.
He was a cop. Anyways, and here's one for our cadaver in chief. He's doing the curly shuffle. And this week's show is brought to you by Angachucks. You mad all the time, ask your doctor about Angachucks for woodchucks and chuckettes. God, you watch Joe, you watch our president, and even when he tries to walk now, he's shuffling. He just shuffles along. He does the curly shuffle, you know?
It's almost like the Thorazine shuffle.
Yeah. It's bad news, man. It's just bad news. He's completely friggin' brain dead, and but he's still mean and vindictive. We're turning into a friggin' banana republic, man. Because let's see, there are all these little pissant prosecutors are ganging up on the opposition party as if we were friggin' El Salvador or something. It's crazy, man. And this one's from today's paper, and it's this is from the Burlington paper of all. Trump, 18 allies charged in Georgia election meddling. Well, it ain't gonna stick. It's too close to the election, and it's free speech. You know, you can criticize the election. You can, come on, man. And who filed these charges? You can get a grand jury to indict a ham sandwich, and it's Fannie, Big Fannie, and Fannie's flatulence sure does stink, Philo. Yeah, she's big old Fannie. And what do? They dug out a picture of Giuliani in the background with his sunglasses on, so he looks like one of the Blues Brothers. It's like, what the hell, man?
I swear, Steve, you give me another Trump versus Biden, and I won't even bother to leave the house.
Well, I'm telling you, I want Trump in because he knows where to go. DeSantis is he's just not ready, and he's got some personality things he's got to work out, and I don't like his relationship with these friggin' Chinese, commie Chinese suckers, the fund managers and the one-worlders.
He's not going to win anyway.
No. Anyways, though at least now they're calling the January 6th thing a riot. It's not an insurrection anymore.
It's not an erection?
Yeah, really. They charged Georgia lawmakers to ignore the will of the voters and appoint a new slate of electoral college electors favorable to Trump.
Oh.
That was legal under the Electoral College Act. We tell you this every week. You know, that's the reason why. Does anybody remember President Tilden from the 1870s? Remember President Tilden?
Oh, yeah. I voted for him.
No, because there wasn't any President Tilden, damn it. The Electoral Count Act, they sent in, a slate of electors, and Tilden lost. And damn it, all they wanted was 10 days to investigate the fraud and mismanagement and cheating that was reported. And Mike Lindell, if you go to NEK-TV, and or if you got a cell phone right now, you can hit hashtag here is the evidence, and or hashtag every legal vote, or go to frankspeech.com, and Lindell has the short videos they have in a conference right now about all the election shenanigans, and it's crazy, man. Let's see. To one particular brazen episode, it outlines a plot involving one of his lawyers to access the voting machines and steal data from the voting machine company. They wanted to access the voting machines to find out if they had been tampered with. It doesn't matter. They didn't want to. Why would you want? You can't screw with a voting machine after it's already tabulated everything, because you want to look. And that's the thing. We can't rely on these machines. Only third world countries rely on them. And, all the first world companies like France and Canada and Germany, they all do hand counts, man, because these machines are junk. And the Fox settled out of court like idiots. They just didn't want they didn't want video of Rupert Murdoch getting out there to show how brain dead he is.
Very much so.
Yeah, he's as bad as Biden. And steal data from the machines. Oh, please. Let's see. The indictment alleges that rather than abide by Georgia's legal processes for election challenges, the defendants engaged in a criminal racketeering enterprise to overturn Georgia's election result, said Fulton County DA Fannie Willis, Flatulent Fanny, whose office brought the case, said at a late-night news conference. Yeah, because what they were going to do, they were counting on this night before last, Philo, right?
Okay.
She's all like, yeah, they're gonna, and we had people, I had reporters outside the courthouse, and they had cameras going. They said, any minute now, we're gonna go into the courthouse, and we've got our reporters here, Johnny on the spot. It's only a matter of minutes, and we're ready to go. And lo and behold, man, get this. Let's see. Trump's legal team. The events that have unfolded today have been shocking and absurd, starting with the leak of a presumed and premature indictment before the witnesses had testified or the grand jurors had deliberated, and ending with the district attorney being unable to offer any explanation. The lawyer said prosecutors presenting their case relied on witnesses who harbor their own personal and political interests, touting their efforts against the accused, because they came out and they issued the indictments with all the charges and everything before the DA had done it. So it's like hours before. So they kept running around the courthouse. They're going up and down the elevator. They got a judge who used to work with Flatulent Fanny, a 34-year-old hack, the puke, and they kept cutting back to his courtroom. So finally, they finally got their crap together at like 11:30 at night, because they were hoping to go on at like 8 p.m., and get national TV coverage. Well, they didn't. You fools, you couldn't get your crap together. And it's a late night news conference. It was late night, all right. Yeah, let's see, the charging documents, riot, yada yada. The indictment capped a chaotic day at the courthouse caused by the brief but mysterious posting on a county website of a list of criminal charges that were to be brought against Trump. Reuters, which published a copy of the document, said the filing was taken down quickly. See, they threw it up on the internet 4 hours before they announced it. It's like, we be stupid. We stupid, because that's the way we be in Georgia. We be stupid. It's like Ebonics, man. I be, he be, they be, she be, we be. Let's see. Trump and his allies is politically immediately seized on the apparent error to claim that the process was rigged. Trump's campaign was aimed to fundraise it off it, sending out an email with the since deleted document embedded on it. Well, yeah, it's because it's going to show that they're after him. We don't do this in the United States. We let the voters decide. It's not up to the FBI. It's not up to some pissant district attorney in Georgia or another weird pissant prosecutor in Florida and Miami, or this other Wolfman Jack in D.C., or some other, or a giant friggin' 350-pound Negro and district attorney in New York City who lets criminals run free, beating up people and pushing them onto the subway trains, but somehow he campaigned on the fact that he was going to put Trump in jail. That was his campaign promise. And meanwhile, people are leaving New York City at something stupid like between 6,000 and 11,000 a month, Terry.
Well, you know how stupid they are? They moved to San Francisco, which is even worse.
Yeah. Well, the weather's a little nicer in December, but not much.
But they're telling business owners, don't confront shoplifters.
Oh, right.
And if you commit a crime of larceny under $1,000, they will not prosecute you in California.
Yeah. So people are getting their cars broken into. Everything, the merchandise is behind locked doors. This is insane. And like my buddy said, I didn't vote for this. I mean, I knew Joe was like a old hair sniffer. I'm there. No, they campaigned on this. They said no borders, no walls, no USA at all. I mean, come on. They broadcast what they were gonna do, and they did it, man. And now we're screwed. They're in Durban next week after. You think you've seen inflation before and rising gas prices? Ho, mister. When they start using something besides, when they come up with their own currency instead of the U.S. dollar, you wait. You haven't seen inflation. We're going to see inflation like the friggin' Weimar Republic, mister. I wish I'd bought more gold, I'm telling you, and silver too.
Well, you remember what Bush said when they were in 2000? We will not engage in regime change. Remember that? How many regimes did he go after? At least 2, and he wanted to go after a third.
Yeah, and meanwhile, friggin', I didn't bring the pictures. I had a whole stack of pictures I took it on Maui when I was there in 1990, and I left them at home on the wood stove. Damn it. But meanwhile, Lahaina is burnt to the ground. Biden says he doesn't. Well, God bless him. We might help him, or we're going to right. And he gave each person on Maui $700 in Lahaina $700, Philo, which amounts to something like, I don't know, $4 or $5 million, right? And yet he's come up with another $20 billion to give to the friggin' Ukraine.
I know that one really irks me.
It's
absolutely
insane.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Even Mike Pence. Remember when they had Mike Pence on the ropes, Tucker Carlson, and he says, look at our countries are going to hell in a handbasket over here. It looks like hell. They're needles and crap and people wandering around like zombies and flesh falling off their bones and shit. And Mike Pence says, he doesn't even look at Tucker Carlson. He says, it's not my concern. Really? And Tucker said, it's just, so you're more concerned about the Ukraine than the United States.
Yeah, he is. Yep, that's true.
Same with Mitch McTurtle.
Oh, we haven't mentioned him in a long time. Come on. Tell me all about Mitch McTurtle.
Oh, Mitch McTurtle, yeah. He said, Ukraine's the most important thing we've got here.
Something, Tucker Carlson said this, I think it was 2 years ago, before the Ukraine thing started. He had a guest on, and he said, the Democrats don't want to get this issue because of such and such. And he said, and the Republicans don't want this issue. They want to go out and start a war in Ukraine, and that's just what they did. Both parties got involved in this.
Yeah, because that's where the money is, man.
They're all to blame, both parties.
And, look at where their campaign donations came from. Look at how much money Biden took, all the Bidens took from the Ukrainians. I mean, come on, man. We're talking millions and millions. It's between 20 and 50 million that they took, the Biden family took from the Ukrainians. Could be even more. And they're just getting around to bust them for it, too. Anyways, it also charges Trump with making false statements and writings for a series of claims he made to Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger and other state election officials, including that up to 300,000 ballots were dropped mysteriously into the rolls and that 4,500 people voted who weren't on registration lists, and a Fulton County election worker was a professional vote scammer. Well, they got video of that too. Go on the thing with Mike Lindell right now. You can see this woman and her daughter, man, having fun with these votes. with these ballots, really. And they didn't do any signature verification. That got thrown out the window because of COVID, man.
Yes,
No signature verification.
Yes, and they put people in the grocery stores behind plexiglass so they can handle your food, breathe on it, and then hand it back to you.
Yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant people.
This whole COVID thing, man. I'll get to that. Philo, the NEK News Division printed me up
And we're happy to do so.
a good one on that by Dr. Pierre Corey. There's a lot of excess deaths, man. I read the obituaries every day, and it's not looking good.
We get something off the VMX from a doctor in the UK,
Yeah.
and he's got a whole bunch of stories about this. Unreported deaths, over-reported deaths,
Yeah.
this, that, and the other thing, yeah.
Well, it's like vaccine roulette, you know? I mean, chances are, if you haven't been bothered by it yet, you won't be. But, you know, I'm watching people, you know, young people, young healthy people, athletes, you know, tip over. And it's not a good sign. And
speaking of athletes, we're watching men become women to beat women.
And by the way, what happened with the FDA 2 days ago, Philo?
What happened? Tell me.
They okayed ivermectin.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So are they going to apologize to Joe Rogan and tell him he wasn't Mr. Ed after all? I'm a horse, Wilbur, not a pincushion.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh, it's horse medicine, remember? And they came out and they even lied. Fauci lied, said that there were people, the emergency rooms are getting clogged with people overdosing on ivermectin. And
No,
it's
they
no
weren't.
good for you. Well, it turns out not only was it good for you, the stuff actually worked. That's why people in India didn't take the vaccine and they didn't die. Come on, man. Man, we've been lied to, boy. We've been lied to big time.
You and I are old enough to remember the Gulf of Tonkin incident.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just another lie. I mean, they'll come up with some more. And you see what did I can't remember who the heck it was. One of them said, Bill Gates, we have to get ready for the next COVID outbreak.
Yeah.
We have to plan for it.
Our parents' generation, it was the surprise attack on Pearl Harbor. You know, the radar operators were screaming that there were the massive amounts of planes coming towards the island from the southwest, or no, the northwest. And meanwhile, we were only expecting a couple of friggin' bombers flying in from San Diego, which would have been the
Southeast.
Yeah, the southeast. But oh no, we didn't listen to them either. No. And it was just purely a coincidence that all the aircraft carriers were out that day. Purely a coincidence, mister.
Yes, and what was the North Vietnamese gunboat's going to shoot down one of our ships?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
right.
This is unbelievable. Yeah, unbelievable.
You wonder why we're a bit skeptical.
Yeah, yeah, and you wonder why we're questioning these friggin' voting machines that have been proven they can be tampered with. Oh, I was watching this video with Mike Lindell, Philo, and the My Pillow guy, and they took it off the net. He didn't even produce it. I don't know where he got it. He says, I don't know, nobody knows who made this. We'd like to find out who made it so we can give him credit. But they showed the spikes at between 12 a.m. on voting night, between 12 a.m. and 2 a.m. when all the voting things had supposedly shut down, suddenly started getting spikes for Biden. And every friggin', in Detroit, Philadelphia, Phoenix, all these mystery cities, man. It's just insane.
And CNN was cheerleading it.
Oh,
that's
of course.
what I was watching. They were cheerleading it.
Yeah, well, we had to get We had to get,
At least we were spared one thing. We didn't have to watch any of the CNN news anchors dressed up as cheerleaders.
oh God,
They were
man.
acting like it.
Anderson Pooper.
He's actually the only sophisticated one of them all. The
Yeah,
rest
he
of
did
them
an
are totally
internship.
low class.
He did an internship for the CIA.
Oh, he did?
Yeah,
Well, he must know how to act then.
here we are. Oh, front page, Philo. This is from yesterday's paper. Democrats targeting junk fees. Yep, they're targeting junk fees. Never mind inflation and giving money to the Ukraine and all this money for electric charging stations for electric vehicles that nobody wants or can afford. Nope, it's down there, right where the arrow's pointing. Junk fees. Yep, that's what's bothering me and you.
But what is a junk fee?
Oh, let's see. Let's see. Congressional Democrats are teaming up with the Joe Bite Me and a progressive advocacy group to turn policy efforts to curb junk fees into a political rallying cry, betting that small but potentially potent kitchen table issue will resonate with voters. President Joe Bite Me promised in his day that he would target unexpected fees tacked onto things like plane and concert tickets, hotel rooms, hospital and cell phone bills, and housing transactions. He's since worked with major businesses to see that pricing is more transparent about all fees.
Oh, they're very trans.
Yeah. Like Transheiser-Busch.
Oh, hey, I hadn't thought of that one. That's a good one, comrade.
Oh, man. Yeah, sure. It's not, so they didn't get rid of the fees. He's just talked with the companies to be more transparent about the fees.
Yeah, he wants to make them trans too, I guess.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Let's see, what do we got for hats here? Here's an oldie but a goodie.
Oh, woof.
Yeah. Targeting junk fees. More than a dozen House Democrats across the country plan to hold events organized with help from the Progressive Change Institute to promote the administration's effort to curb the junk fees. Events have already happened in suburban Detroit.
What's left of it?
Yeah. In Detroit, oh, this gets better and better. Here's Hakeem Jeffries right there. Old Hakeem. Philadelphia, Central New Jersey, Albuquerque, in coming weeks in Pittsburgh, New York, Las Vegas, as well as Wisconsin, Ohio, and North Carolina. Still others are in the works. Oh, yeah, because, you know, it takes a big bite out of you. You know, you and I are always flying around the country, renting hotel rooms, renting cars. You know, it's really taking a bite out of our butt, isn't it, Philo?
Oh, my goodness, dude, you can't even imagine.
It's not the friggin' supermarket every week. It's not the heating oil bills we're going to have to pay. It's not the gasoline. No, it's none of that. Oh, no. It's not inflation. No, it's fees. The fees. That's what the Democrats are after. Hidden and deceptive junk fees cost Americans billions of dollars every year, said Representative Hakeem Jeffries of New York, the Democratic House leader. House Democrats will continue to work with President Joe to fight these excessive fees, if he can remember, hold corporations accountable, and lower costs for families across the country. Because them families, they're always waiting and, you know, they got to pay them fees for Taylor Swift tickets and, you know, all that stuff.
Yep.
Oh, sure. Let's see. The push is part of Biden economics, or Bidenomics. The president's efforts to stimulate the economy by increasing social spending in ways he says can strengthen the middle class. It could. Don't you love these disclaimer words?
When was the last time that actually any of those politicians ever did anything for us middle class?
Yeah. Well, now, because of inflation, we're paying $700 a month more, Philo, right?
And Vermont will make it worse as soon as this what was it, Senate Bill 5, S5?
Yeah.
When that kicks in, we're all sunk.
And they laughed at Trump. When Trump gave us an extra $6 or $7 grand a year for your average working stiff, they laughed at Trump. Remember Nancy Pelosi came out and said it was crumbs. They were crumbs.
And what did Biden give us from COVID?
Yeah.
Less crumbs.
Yeah, they were ready to lock us up.
Mm-hmm.
We were this close to being locked up. Our patience is wearing thin. You better take that vaccine or else, mister.
Yes, they were letting people out of prison so the disease wouldn't spread, but if you didn't wear a mask, they'd throw you in prison.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really bright.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, increased social spending. Yeah, so we got to spend $700 a month more. And they laughed when Trump gave us that $7 grand a year more in our pockets, and lower gas prices and inflation. No inflation to speak of. It was like 1% inflation for 4 years. Oh yeah, but he had those horrible tweets, mister. Horrible tweets.
Well, if he just learned to shut up.
Yeah, well, I'd rather have him yapping as long as I don't have to paying.
Yeah, but he's defeating his own purpose. He's got to shut up someday.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's same with Teddy Roosevelt, Andrew Jackson. I don't care what they say. I care what they do. And he ended the war in Afghanistan, which Joe promptly screwed up. And oh man, don't get me going. But it may also help. Let's see. It could ease the sting of inflation, which has moderated in recent months but remains high. Oh, don't you love that? This isn't propaganda, right?
Well, they invented that whole virus just to fuel this whole thing, and now they've got a monster they can't control.
Yeah.
The COVID virus. Look at all the devastation it's caused. They didn't think this through. They invented this stupid thing, and then they just devastated the economy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And they ruined our kids and the schools, and we got suicide friggin' numbers off the charts. It's nuts.
A lot of people are homeschooling, and I don't blame them.
Yeah. Oh, that's the thing I was telling you about, Jordan Peterson. He and his daughter have started a homeschooling network, and I think it's free. I forget the name of it, but if you just look up Jordan Peterson, man, you can homeschool. He teaches you how to homeschool your kids and give them the right attitude. Well, let's see. But Bidenomics may also help Biden bridge the gap between an economy that many metrics show is strong and with low unemployment rates and wages rising. Oh, yeah, them wages are rising all over the place, aren't they, Philo?
Oh, boy.
And polling suggesting that many Americans don't view that as a positive for Democrats. No kidding. Well, let's see. This campaign referring to public perceptions on the economy. It doesn't show. It takes time for people to realize why that's there. Yeah, meanwhile, you just had your little friggin' solar panel company, another one, go belly up. So we're buying more solar panels from China. Let's see. The president also announced in June that company executives meeting at the White House, including from Live Nation Entertainment, Ticketmaster, and SeatGeek, had agreed to disclose more ticketing fees up front so consumers have a better idea of final pricing as they comparison shop.
They're creating another monopoly is what they're doing.
Yeah. House Democrats have introduced legislation to crack down on unexpected fees.
You know, it used to be, Steve, you wanted to go see an event, you called the event.
Yeah.
You said, let me buy tickets. Now you can't do that.
Yeah.
Now you have to go through Ticketmaster or Ticket Hub or something, StubHub or something like that.
I get fed up. I just go to a scalper, that's all.
Yeah.
Here we are. There's some stories, Philo. One such story comes from Joe Pfister, a 36-year-old paralegal. He'd been looking to buy a home for a year and a half and went for a tour of the Brooklyn Co-op. he eventually bought on the day before New York shut down and the coronavirus pandemic in 2020. But he wasn't expecting the thousands in additional fees that came later from the lender, the real estate agent, and the co-op company. They just kind of sprang up one at a time, and you had to keep paying to move your app forward. Include 400 months for questionnaire fees, 200 in COVID cleaning fees, 750 in the move-in deposit. Yeah, never mind Biden's friggin' interest rates that are gonna eat you alive over the next 30 years.
Yep.
As you watch all your fellow New Yorkers leave your crime-ridden streets for other states. Let's see. Oh, here we go again with the microchips, Philo.
Yeah, they want to have everybody have a microchip.
Yeah, the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee says its members are spending the August resource trumpeting the economic impact of Biden legislation, promoting domestic microchip production, and the Inflation Reduction Act, which advanced green energy and drastically increased federal social spending. Yeah, great. More welfare money for more deadbeats and another 10 million wetbacks that just swam over here from every third world hellhole in the country.
Yeah, they want to put a chip in people so it says, well, it'll make it easier for you to gain access to your work and all these. But we're not going to track you with it. Oh, we're not going to track you with it.
Oh, no.
Bull
No, hell
crap.
no. That's where we'll use your phone for that. Oh, yes.
My phone is on no tracking mode.
Let's see. Still, some Republicans dismiss the issue as a distraction without a lasting impact. Dumpster fires polled better with the American people than Bidenomics. So extreme Democrats threw it in the garbage to talk about junk fees because they know Biden's economy is in the trash. Yeah, you think? Oh, here we are. We be dead. Five sought after shooting at a Philly playground, kills 3, critically wounds 1, Philo.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, at a basketball court when 5 males started shooting at the group just before 6 p.m. and then fled. Nyrese Moore, 22, and Nasir Folk, 24, were pronounced dead at the shooting. Police said that 21-year-old Isaiah Williams died shortly before 10 p.m. Another 23-year-old man was in Temple in critical condition. Oh, sure. No problem, man. We don't want to, these people, we don't want mass incarceration. How about some news that you're not going to see, Philo?
Okay.
Oh, because there's so much crime in the cities, the commercial real estate's going down the tubes, right?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? The U.S. banks hold $6 trillion in commercial real estate, and it's faltering now. They can't even pay the interest on their payments.
Yep.
So it's only a matter of time. Let's see. Oh, and the Ukraine has fired recruiters who were taking $10,000 bribes for every Ukrainian puke that they said had a bad back or bad vision and couldn't be in the army, Philo. They were making a fortune, like your local draft board.
Huh.
Yep. And and this guy Weiss, the one who gave Hunter the sweetheart deal,
yeah,
for not paying taxes on the hookers. Oh, he tried to write off the hookers and the crack cocaine and stuff too.
Well, I don't see a problem with that.
Oh, hell no, it's a good deduction. Anyways, this David Weiss guy, his father's name was Meyer Weiss. He was an IRS agent, and he took bribes in the 60s and 70s, Philo.
Well, we have to have the generational things keep going,
Yeah. He took IRS bribes, and he went to jail, and his mom tried to get some of that money back because she said if part of that money was hers. He didn't steal it all. She wanted some of it, and some of that money was used to send this kid who's prosecuting Hunter to law school. Yeah, sure. It's a family affair, Philo.
I can dig it.
Yeah. Oh, and did you know that they still have the SIGAR, the SIGAR, the special investigative IG. It's the special IG. And what's an IG? Inspector General for Afghan Reconstruction. SIGAR, Philo, right? Mm-hmm. He's still working in Afghanistan, and he's found that $8 billion that we've given the Taliban, they have no way to prove where it went. So we're still getting screwed by the Taliban, Philo, and we're still giving billions to them. No problem, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, sure. Yeah, let's see. Oh, yeah, the 5 driverless cars died because there was no Wi-Fi in San Francisco near a music festival, and the 5 dead driverless cars caused massive traffic jams because nobody could get out and just push them out of the way because they were like stuck in gear. When the Wi-Fi went down, they just stopped there and they had to get tow trucks in to move them.
Yeah, wasn't likely.
Yep. Yeah, sure. And this one guy, he spent $56 in 2 hours to charge up his Ford EV pickup. Yeah, they're great. They're a lot of fun, man. Oh, and today we find out that over 10,000 voters were wrongly put on the rolls in Michigan, and it was referred to the FBI. But it wasn't enough to throw the election, they say. Anyways, here's a news from Dr. Pierre Corey. There's no cover letter or anything, so I'll just give you the highlights of it. It's he put an op-ed in USA Today on excess mortality in young people across the world. Dr. Pierre Corey, Pierre traditional spelling, Corey Kory, and you can see most of his writings at Substack.com. The first few are free. There's no paywall. Let's see. Did very fearless in the fact that the original draft. And he goes on about the vaccines. However, the vaccines aren't the cause of death. The working age, white-collar Americans with group life insurance policies, Fortune 500 and corporate employees, what happened to them? I'll give you the only possibilities that can explain a sudden rise. Either a series of terrorist attacks, wartime mobilization, or proliferation of corporate vaccine mandates. You guess which one works. As far as I can remember, only one these events actually took place. After tweeting the op-ed, it ruled out the vaccines as a cause of excess deaths. Commenters said 2 consistent errors. One, they completely ignored the tight temporal associations and unprecedented magnitude of the rises in the healthiest sectors of the U.S. society. And 2, they rely on Sweden's data as some sort of negating exception, while Sweden is a complex outlier and didn't fare nearly as well as people explained in the article by the Swiss Policy Research Group. But anyways, let's see, Mark Crispin Miller, Substack, he does it too. What's killing the people? Forget the government, science, media, or medicine. The most significant trend has emerged from the driest dust data crunchers, life insurance companies. That's where the good hard data is coming from. Tasked with calculating the risk for insurance companies, the actuarial societies in the US, the UK, and Australia are tracking a trend that few people are aware of and few have acknowledged. More people are dying than in the years before the pandemic, many more. and they aren't predominantly old, infirm, or COVID infected. They're called excess deaths, revealed in life insurance claims as the grist of actuaries are trying to tell us something, if anybody would listen. In the U.S. in 2022, last year, 15% more people died than expected, meaning deaths were 115% of normal. The UK saw more, yada, yada, yada. Week in, week out. Yet the post-pandemic deaths doesn't explain much. Excess mortality. Let's see, the last paragraph, and let's see. I'll tell you that their feeble yet brazen attempt to divert attention elsewhere is little different from any other agency, society, or organization whose directions have all been directed towards suppressing and distorting the true catastrophic consequences of the vaccine campaign. It goes on and on. Let's see. White-collar deaths reached 39% above normal. Deaths for all employees with 34% higher than baseline. Mortality among 35 to 44-year-olds reached a stunning 101% above, or double, the 3-year pre-pandemic baseline. And a contradiction, U.S. COVID deaths during that period were 40% lower than the previous wave in 21. This suggests other factors at play. These deaths should cause alarms to go off. In England, searchable government database calls the wrenching stories of excess deaths, like the 42 people from birth to 24 who died in a 2-week period in May. People who would be alive except for the pandemic. Let's see. Anyways, part 2 coming tomorrow. Dr. Pierre Corey, K-O-R-Y. Oh, we got a problem in Niger, Figer.
Okay.
Yeah, Niger's ousted leader, low on food. His name is Mohammed Bazoum. Bazoum. You know, he's got the big bazoombas.
Must be.
And he's stuck at the presidential palace. All he's got left is some canned goods and some rice. And the junta will not let him leave his compound, Philo. And Anthony Blinken said that we'd do anything to help him out, except anything. This week, Niger's military junta took steps to entrench itself and rejected international efforts to mediate. Let's see. The junta also refused to admit mediation teams from the UN, the African Union, the ECOWAS, citing evidence of regional security atmosphere of menace. ECOWAS had threatened to use military force if the junta didn't reinstate Bazoum by Sunday, and a deadline the junta ignored, and which passed without action from ECOWAS. The bloc is expected to meet again Thursday. Groups, and it goes back to, guess what, Philo?
What's that,
goes
Steve?
back to jihadi violence. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Yes, the open bar is now open.
It's open bar. Groups linked to Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State have ravaged the Sahel, the vast expanse of the Sahara. Most analysts have justified couldn't hold weight, and the takeover resulted from a power struggle that comes as a blow. Niger is one of the biggest suppliers of uranium, Philo.
Yes, indeed.
While the crisis drags on, 25 million people are bearing the brunt. One of the poorest countries in the world. In the capital, the junta also shut Niger's airspace, and acting U.S. Deputy Secretary of State Victoria Nuland, that witch, that is evil personified, that woman, man, met with the coup leaders but said they refused to allow her to meet with Bazoumba. She described the mutinous officers as unreceptive to her appeals to start negotiations and restore constitutional rule. Oh, yeah. Well, what happened to Winkin, Blinken, and Nod? What happened to Anthony Blinken? Well, anyways, they won't listen to Victoria. They won't listen to Blinken either. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But they got the uranium, and Hillary sold all our uranium to Russia for some reason. God only knows. Here we are. Top Pentagon officials say UFO hearing was insulting. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's insulting to the people at the Pentagon because they've been clamming up for years and years and years. Wasn't insulting to anyone else, though, except for that weird guy, Major David Grush. He just he just seemed a little different, Philo. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Here we are. Special counsel complicates race. Yeah, like we're too stupid to see that the FBI has tampered with every election in the past 3 or 4 cycles. And so, you know, I'm starting to look at these special counsels, Philo, as we look at like special ed. You know what I mean? These are people who should be wearing helmets. They should be wearing helmets.
Or tinfoil.
Yeah, and tinfoil hats on top of them, man. Oh, yeah. Oh, and on Friday, Biden faced a fresh setback when Attorney General Garland appointed a special counsel to probe his son Hunter. Yeah, come on, man. They let the statute of limitations run out. I mean, in a month or two, their charges will have to be dropped because there's, you know, the time limits run out. And it's like, what the hell, man? Oh, come on, man. No questions. No questions. Nope. Unbelievable. Oh, sure. Yeah. Joe bite me. Yeah, we can take money. We don't pay taxes on it. You can write off hookers and, you know, stuff like that. Yeah, here today, gone to Maui, man. Oh, and here we are. EPA waives review of vinyl chloride. Well, they're reviewing the train derailment finally in Ohio, where they burned all that vinyl chloride. And you know who ordered them to burn the vinyl chloride, Philo? The EPA. Oh, jeez. They're the only ones who have the authority. They show up on site and they have the authority to tell them what to do with it. And so they lit it up like idiots, man. They're idiots. Debate of an urgency after February 3rd debate in East Palestine. 3 days later, emergency crews released the toxic vinyl chloride to keep the 5 tank cars and burned it to keep them from exploding. There are people there who said they would not have exploded because they were in new cars. If they just got the cranes in there and lifted them back up and got them upright, they would not have exploded because they weren't mixed with anything to explode from. Man, oh man. What does the EPA stand for? The Environmental Plunder Agency.
Okay, Steve, last but not least.
Okay, last but not least, here we are. Maui doublespeak, man. It's crazy. At least the first ones are always the real ones. At least 2 other fires had been burning on Maui with no fatalities thus far. In South Maui's Kihei area and in the mountainous inland communities known as Upcountry. A 4th broke out Friday evening in Kanapali, I know where that is, a coastal community, but crews were able to extinguish them. That the upcountry had affected 544 structures, 96% were residential. So it was all under control until it wasn't. Well, once again, you wasted a perfectly good hour of your life watching this stupid show. So hopefully we'll see you again next week. Inshallah, good Lord willing, the creek don't rise. Look at the news I didn't get to. So hopefully we'll see you again next week. And until then, get down on your hands and knees in the men-only mosque. Sniff the bum of the guy in the man dress in front of you. Head east towards Mecca and worship the meteorite and go, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Snakbar, Allahu Open Bar, Akbar.
And of course, a happy Deus Magnus Est to everyone, and good night.
Does it go by quick?
We're on speakerphone a lot with them, talking business. Is that what?
Never talk business anyway. I knew you'd have a lousy question.
Well, why is that a lousy question?
Because it's not true.
It's not true. What? What?
With respect to climate change.
We've already done that. We've
What?
fixed the $368 billion climate control facility. We're moving.
What?
It is the existential threat to humanity.
So you've already declared that national emergency.
Well, in the practical, you have a bug on you.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it. So you've already declared that national emergency.
Practically speaking, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know?
Turbines made by GE Verona.
What?
I mispronounced it. Imagine if for a long time Roosevelt and telephones came along saying, we're not going to help invest in telephones.
What?
Come on, man.
We didn't invest in telephones, private industry did.
Full of energy and vigor, isn't he?
Late returns show Democrats alienated by Truman's policies returning to the fold in surprising numbers.
Four-way race.
The president is a million votes ahead in the popular vote. Could it be the tide is turning? Unbelievable.
Mechanical
True.
tabulators and a hand
First time
count.
Since 1916, the United States faces a country so evenly divided in a national election that no one knows, hours and hours after the polls have closed, who is to be the next president of the United States.
With a hand count.
Harry Truman has accomplished one of the political miracles of our times. In the face of national polls,
Now, with machines, computers, it takes days and days.
At the car, Frank.
Get the cleanest elections ever.
See the morning paper, Mr. President?
So I'll